Chapter 6. Cutting Your Losses. "Goddamn son of a bitch mosquitoes!" Harley fumed. "I hate when they do that!" "You couldn't have defeated them," said their saviour, adjusting the leaves of her intricately plated battle gear, a lightweight, historically inspired warrior dress unlike any either hunter had ever laid eyes on. Influenced, it appeared, by the best of many ancient cultures, designed for unrivaled manoeuvrability and defence. "Count yourselves lucky they left." Robert's brow creased. "With your help?" Their rescuer returned a cheeky smile. "Who says you had my help?" Harley's features scrunched in bemusement, arms folded, leaning on her back foot, gaze flitting between the suddenly empty space the vampires had vacated and the mysterious woman. Are you fucking kidding me?" Robert cast his wife a tempering glance. "What she means is thanks," he added. "I didn't do it for you." "Hey, wait!" Robert trotted after the rescuer, wincing and limping. She stopped and threw the hunter an over-the-shoulder look. "You need to rest. Just tell me who you are, please." Back to the hunter still, the woman drew in a deep, audible breath, rolling her shoulders in the most relaxed and natural of ways. "What is in a name?" "Excuse me?" The woman turned to regard the pair, settling her eyes on each hunter, then the still hiding sprout. "Is it power? Connection? The sense of loss and gain?" "I just want to know who to send the Christmas cards to this year," Robert offered with a smile. Though their saviour's face remained stern, the slightest huff of appreciation and minutest twinge of her lips spoke worlds to the hunter. "Funny," she remarked, tone flirting with sarcasm. "How's that working out for you?" "You'd be surprised," said Robert without hesitation, earning a more notable, fleeting half-smile on those shadowy lips. "You'll know when you need to," offered the woman, turning her into a retreat before finishing her reply. "What the hell's that supposed to mean?" Harley moved swifter than her body desired in her agitation, forcing a gasp of pain and instant halt to her actions. Their saviour continued her steady walk away, without words. "Hey!" the huntress yelled. Only the woman's footsteps answered her. "You know," Robert raised his voice to cover the distance, albeit suspecting such consideration was likely unnecessary with this one. "You remind me of someone. A couple of someones, in fact." The woman's stride faltered, though she did not let up. "But you're no vampire," Robert added. The saviour stopped. "What gave it away?" she asked, without shifting to face them, her mellifluous tone little more than a whisper, and yet perfectly audible in the strangest sensory way. "Well, you're pale enough to be one of them, or at least fit in with their parties. You even dress like you could be undead. Bloodsuckers got themselves some mighty powers, that's for sure," Robert said, advancing with care. "They hide in the darkness. They thrive on it. They sure as shit don't control it. Not like that. You, though. You turned their strength against them and made them your bitch." "Bitches." "I've been well trained." "Yeah, no shit. But by who, darling?" Harley chimed in, taking a seat on the arm of a couch and inspecting her wounds. The saviour finally turned back to confront the hunters, and even drew closer again, surrendering her flight. She stood half-masked by shadows, though the energy of her eyes and vibrant highlights of her hair glistened with confident prominence in the dark. "You're not ready to know that." "Bullshit!" Harley fired her most defiant scowl. "You've noticed the world we're living in, right?" Robert gestured around at the trash department store's once homely imitation of resplendent life before the end. "Even so, certain truths are beyond grasping, especially for you, in this time, in this moment." "The fuck is that supposed to mean?" Harley's temper was uncaged, though Robert knew she would not act on it. "Sweetheart, we've been at this coming on 15 years now. And heard that I'm something you've never seen crap more times than you can count," Harley said, drawing the violet-haired woman's amusement. "There's nothing left in this world which can surprise us," Robert concluded. The woman drew her brows together, gathering her attractive features into a mask of pity. "How awful a life would be if that were true. You're lucky it's horseshit. Be honest, do you have any idea what's going on outside England? You're looking at one piece of the puzzle and calling it complete. You think vampires are your only concern?" She gave a slow, sage-like shake of her head. "You've got a lot to learn, faithful hunters. Fate calls the chosen when the barriers fall and the branches reconnect. You felt it all those months ago. The darkness which clouds England. You have to realise it's only one move in an elaborate game, an act by one pawn in an army. What are you saying?" Their saviour sighed, hands on hips. "I'm saying you need to spread your wings. The vampires executed their ploy and succeeded. Get over it. You're fighting a losing battle here, one which died months ago, but you can't let go of." "Sounds like quitters talk to me," Harley hissed. "This is a fight we're not walking out on. There's a difference between walking away, giving up, and regrouping. The second Narcor's shadow shrouded the land, England became theirs. You cannot defeat them on their own turf, not on your own. Only a fool would believe victory lies within the reach of two alone. Only a fool would decry the impact of the individual, Robert fired back, sanguine in his delivery. A sincere smile passed over the violet-haired woman's lips, and her posture softened. Quite so. But wars aren't won through such isolated actions, except in the rarest of cases, when all the stars align. This is a war with no equal, and the cosmos isn't on your side. It gives no care for your retribution. This is a war of armies, a conflict of countless souls and unending torment. There is only one path which can change all that. It's a path that both of you are meant for, and yet stray further from with every day you cling to the past. Listen, darling, whatever you're getting at, how about you shoot it straight for a change? The Saviour fixed her shimmering gaze on Harley, eyes piercing her very soul in a manner which electrified the hairs on the huntress's skin. If you stay here, you will die. You will surrender your humanity to the memory of your quest for vengeance and never greet the future which awaits you. This world is shattered, but it is not gone. There are those who would fight by your side, those the universe needs you to find. But first, you must abandon that which drove you. The threat is greater than you know, far grander than that presented by this kingdom of blood drinkers. Their darkness ends at the ocean. Find your way beyond it. Find your way into the light and see the world for what it has truly become. You three are more important than you can imagine. 3? Robert remembered the girl, Sprout, the instant the word leapt from his tongue, and immediately span round in search of her. And what about you? Harley's attention remained fixed on the woman. You just, show up here, kick some ass and expect us to trust you? I saved you. You'd think that would prove my trustworthiness. You'd figure, and yet here we are. The Saviour smiled back at Harley's scowling visage, and slowly slipped from the corporeal realm, as though being swallowed piecemeal by the air itself, her lingering voice resonating palpably. I enjoyed our time together. Should we meet again, we can speak more freely. I'd like that. Heed my warning, Harley. Sprout? Robert called, more concerned for the child than their disappearing rescuer. Where the hell do you think you're going? Harley demanded of the vanishing woman. This war is only just beginning, and my path veers towards the pivotal. The violet-haired woman's final words echoed from a mouth no longer there, haunting the air with her cadence. Sprout? Robert seemed unfazed by the woman's sudden departure. Fucking pretentious bitch, Harley grumbled, massaging her shoulder. Kinda like her. Hey! Robert's voice softened. Hey! Robert's voice softened. That's better. Drawing his wife's gaze as he crouched, hand extended, palm up. It's okay. You can come out now. Harley approached, hobbling at first, but swiftly regaining poise and stability. As the girl took her husband's hand and gingerly emerged from beneath the oaken bench, she set her wide, doleful eyes on Harley. The hairs on the huntress's neck tingled, and a tremble emanating from her utility belt caught her awareness. Are you hurt? Robert knelt to meet Sprout at eye level, wincing as he did so, clutching his ribs. Harley removed the small, gently vibrating pendant from her pouch. Sprout gave her a timid shake of her head. You sure? Asked Robert. Sprout nodded. Do you mind if I check? Robbie? Sprout shook her head, nibbling her lower lip as she rubbed her runny nose. As Robert checked the girl with the skill of a combat medic, Harley drew closer. She laid her hand on her husband's shoulder. Sprout's sparkling, inquisitive eyes met the huntress's and evoked in her a gradually warming smile as she held the oscillating pendant in her palm for Robert to see. Robert spared the relic a cursory glance, though he already suspected what it confirmed. You're safe now, little one, he said, with all the care of a loving parent. We're going to make sure of that, okay? Sprout's features toyed with hope as her eyes darted to Harley, then back to Robert, her trembling alleviating. Harley stooped to the girl's level alongside her husband, slipping the pendant back into the belt pouch. We won't let them take you, kiddo. That's one victory you can be damn sure we'll deny 'em. Though Sprout echoed no words in return, the hunters each felt her acceptance reverberate within them. As the child ran her eyes over the wreckage that had been her home and the fresh corpses of her friends, they each know as she did, many victories had been denied this day, on both sides. I know you want to bury them, said Robert, swallowing the remorseful lump in his throat. I do too, but your safety is our priority now. You got that? We won't let you down, I promise. Again, without a word from Sprout, the hunters felt her desire for knowledge, and it wasn't through typical means of mental communication. No, this came as more on impulse, instinctual, a different kind of power altogether. Robert met the girl's imploring eyes and smiled. No, he said. We're not sticking around here, don't worry. I've had my fill of this graveyard city. Miss Smoky McDisappears when you mentioned the ocean, said Harley. Sprout looked from hunter to huntress, fluttering all but a faded memory. What do you think, kid? Asked Robert. You ready to get the hell out of here or what? A genuine yet pained smile, the best one could have expected given her ordeals, warmed Sprout's face as she gave an enthusiastic nod. We should collect supplies first, said Harley. Could be a long trip. Where do you have in mind? Robert scratched the stubble on his jaw, then met Sprout's upward gaze. Yeah, he said, replying to words never spoken. I've always wanted to visit Paris too. You think the Eiffel Tower's still standing? Asked Harley as the trio set off. She made it pretty clear the entire world's gone through the meat grinder, Robert shrugged. Who's to say what's left anymore? Only one way to find out.